Cochell, the tropical paradise. Because shame is inherently about what we think is bad about ourselves, we need to understand where that comes from. In chapter 1, we spoke about our story, where we come from and what led us to who we are today. Now we need to acknowledge that story can lower the volume on the shame monster living inside our heads, move forward with our lives, and enjoy sex and pleasure. Number 1, mentally bookmark the key events from the past that built this shame. This will help get to the root of why you feel a certain way. Variables. Are there other variables to this shame feeling? Are there shame patterns or people in your life who are constantly make you feel shame? 3, find your center. Take a deep breath. Count backward from 10 and take comfort in the fact that shame is an unpleasant emotion, but not something that gets to define you. Rework. Can these moments, patterns, and people be cast in a new light and thought of as a learning opportunity instead of a failure? I encourage you to consider therapy when processing your relationship with shame. Internalized oppression and shame are deeply connected. For example, the lesbian community, people may internalize social messages about their identities. This can lead to feelings of shame about gender, sex, romantic partners, and sexual orientation. I know it's a lot to unpack, but it can lead to a more positive relationship with yourself and others, babes. The 90-10 rule. In order to literally fuck yourself, you need to mentally unfuck yourself. 90% of sex and masturbation is mental. That means no recounting your to-do list in your head, no worrying about cellulite, and no wondering whether your partner finds you attractive if you arch your back a little higher. This also means navigating your way through shame and coming on the other side with more self-esteem and a shame-free mentality. Common relationship types. This type of relation is not formally defined, at least not, nor does it have a label, but it does involve a sexual relationship. While a casual relationship doesn't require a higher level of commitment, conversations around intimacy and personal boundaries should be so each person is on the same page. The dating relationship. This type of relationship is a step past casual, as there is an active intention to get to know the other person and to growth both create an emotional and a sexual connection, if that is of interest to the parties involved. A friends with benefits relationship. Like Angela, this type of relationship blends together a natural friendship and sexual connection without dating or committing to a more emotionally connected relationship. No, these type of relationships are great, but often require direct communication about what each person wants and how to move on forward in the relationship. The long distance relationship. This type of relationship is an intimate bond between partners who are geographically separated from one another, but still uphold boundaries by fostering trust and communication. The monogamous relationship. This type of relationship, when two humans are in a sexual partnership with one another and no one else. The open relationship. This type of relationship is an intimate connection that is sexually monogamous. Some people in open relationships designate certain partners as their primary or their person, meaning that person is their main partner, while others stick to monikers such as girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, spouse, or nesting partner, meaning you live with them. Some non-monogamous people use hierarchy language to describe their partners. For example, someone might have a primary or nesting partner, as well as a girlfriend who they see casually and less frequently. The platonic relationship. This type of relationship is when people love one another without a sexual component. Some people in the asexual spectrum may consider their romantic relationships platonic, but it depends on the person. This could be considered romantic or lean towards friendship. Either way, it requires communication just like other relationship. The play partners. This type of relationship was when two or more people explore their kinks with each other. It's not a requirement for play partners to be in a sexual or romantic relationship, though they can be, but it does require trust and communication. The polyamorous relationship. This type of relationship is when one person has an open, intimate, and romantic relationships with more than one person at a time. The throuple relationship. This type of relationship involves three people who have consensually agreed to be in a relationship together. Every relationship has its own unique template. Make it your own. To all the lovers, how do we feel about the word love? I'm kind of into it. But I do feel like Rachel Dratch and Will Ferrell in their early aughts SNL sketch, The Love Laws. I believe the reason I find it particularly uncomfortable to say in front of others is because I'm acknowledging my sex life or my alternate sex life to people who might not know me intimately. And I'm afraid of that judgment. Oh, well, look, something for me to work on, sex stuff and body stuff and self-confidence. It's an ongoing lesson, reader. Do you need to be having sex with a partner to have a long, healthy sexual life? No, not at all. Giving yourself time to explore your body and sexual interests solo is so incredibly variable. See chapter 3. And it'll in turn make you more communicative if and when you decide to have sex. A relationship, a hookup, a masturbation session, a chill night where getting off isn't your radar or anything else. A sexy health life is about commitment, desire, and timing. Take your time and do what feels good to you. As you find yourself exploring other people in different types of relationships, remember this. You have control over your actions and the pleasure you would like to give and receive. Your super hot brain and body should come first. But I also like to point out that putting your partner's sex needs at first is also a massive component of being a great partner and improving your overall sex life. Some people feel putting their partner's pleasure first is what gives them pleasure. So put yourself first, however that works for you. Be kind to yourself. Be caring about who you do and don't let in your life. Be open to new possibilities and excited to share your pleasurable life with others. What are your core sex and relationship values? The first step in understanding who you want to become into your pleasure circle is identify your sex and relationship values. If we listen closely, our dates will tell us exactly who they are in the first meeting or dating app message. You shouldn't aim to change anyone, but simply to find whether they find your core values. Even if you're just looking for a hookup, it's important to know whether your new potential lover is a decent person. To answer this all-important question, respond to the following prompts. Write down your answers in a journal or notebook that you can easily reach for when deciding whether to go on that date or hook up with that person. Your responses should make it easier to answer the critical questions. Will this potential partner contribute to your pleasurable life? List 3 to 5 of your most personal values. Think back to your history, your pleasures, every moment you've had, to reflect during the process of reading this book. What is most important to you in a relationship? Is it honesty, excitement? Write them all down. If you're already in a relationship, write down what you most value about your current relationship, as well as the ways you would like to connect more with your partners. Tropical Paradise, we got Nicolette Shea, we got Riley Reid, we got Nicole Aniston, and Megan Rain. You have come a long way from the start of this book, honoring your story, dating yourself, masturbating, identifying the perfect sex toy, and putting your pleasure at the top of the list each time. Dang, you're the most pleasurable life. Keep up the excellent work. Now we're going to start adding lovers to the mix. This is your chance to expand on what you learned about yourself and create a relationship, no matter its description. Exciting, right? Maybe you already have a partner. Maybe you're not looking for one. Maybe you just want to have sexy sex with a person without any deeper attachments. Or maybe you want to explore what it means to date multiple people at the same time. Awesome. However you want to approach dating and partnership is up to you. Let's go to it. Let's get to it. What is partner play? Partner play is when 2 or more parties engage in emotional and sexual contact and connect over common interests. The relationship can be defined and redefined at any stage, but regardless of the label or lack thereof, it requires all parties to listen and effectively communicates their needs, wants, and pleasures. It is important to know that partner play is an umbrella term that can house many different types of relationships. which you can define for yourself. No need to stick to an arbitrary definition if it doesn't work for you. In fact, I encourage you to define your relationship in whatever way makes sense to you. Don't worry too much about the label. The good news is that there are many different types of relationships out there for you to explore, if and when the time is right. Some are more casual, others more committed, while from a relationship that requires boundary setting, consent, and connection. See below for some relationship dynamics that might speak to your personality and interests, and if they don't, totally fine.